Man, good to be with you finally in person. We'll jump right into the questions.
Coach, I guess the D-line, who are some of the guys that have stood out to you, and what have you liked just about their development the last couple months?
Yeah, that whole group, they've got a great mindset and approach to them collectively. You see the old guys like DeMarcus Elliott and CO, continuing to be who they are, but then we've added some new guys, obviously J.H. Tevis, P.J. Lucas, L.D., Cox, so they're just really coming together, James Head, really having a good camp as himself, just so, the older guys taking the right leadership in the right ways, being themselves. Just really collectively the whole group, and that's what we need from them. They're going to have to play a lot of guys together. I've believed in that for a long time, especially up front, and I think we've got a group of guys, a group of young men that are going to do that together.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, obviously,
hey,
how's it going? Coach Allen's obviously calling the plays on game day. What is your primary role? Are you going to be on the field? Are you going to be upstairs? And
sure.
What's your area of focus on game day?
Going to be on the field and really managing a lot of the things for Coach Allen so he can still be the head coach as well. So handling personnel, handling sideline adjustments. When our defense is sitting on the bench, really working how we have our sideline operation to, go through our series, that we just came off of. Right, what were the issues? What are the corrections? What are the things we need to fix and improve and attack? So we're really working to handle that for him and then be able to give him the feedback, right? Here's what we're doing. Here's how we're responding. Here's how we're answering those problems. But then here's also the trends and the themes we're seeing from the offense, okay? On 1st and 10, they're really liking this. On every P and 10, first play of the possession, they've been doing this, right? On 3rd and medians, we've been getting that, So just kind of going back to him and helping recap for him what the series are, but then also what the trends and the tendencies within the game are.
Dustin and Pete.
Chad, how are you, man?
Hey, Dustin. Good to see you.
You too. Just what stood out to you week one watching Illinois film, especially from Chase Brown and from Tommy DeVito?
Yeah, familiar with Chase Brown. Obviously I saw him last year at Minnesota, and he rushed for, I think it was like 147 yards against us last year, and he just put up about 150 again. So familiar with him. He's a talented back. I think they've got a good plan for how they want to use him. What are his strengths as a running back? He really is a talented back. He's upper echelon in this league, and as you think about the Big Ten, they're going to run the ball. When you look at them collectively from last week, 41 rushes, 40 passing attempts, balanced. Ran for more yards, 260. Now, probably some of that's distorted at the end, having the lead. But they're going to run the football. They're a Big Ten football team, and they believe in that. But they also do a good job managing the game and distributing the ball, right? They had, I think it was 5 different receivers with 3 catches at least, including Chase Brown. So he's a guy that they're going to want to find a way to get the ball in his hands. They showed that second play of the game. But then, creating ways for, Isaiah Williams, 7 catches. But then they spread it out, to the other guys as well. So, a very good, balanced Big Ten football team that wants to run the ball. Quarterback did a great job managing the game. They have 75% completion percentage. That's pretty stinking good, And they didn't ask him, and they didn't have to ask him to do a whole lot with how the flow of that game went. But, very, very, very solid, balanced Big Ten football team.
Coach, over here, can you talk a little bit about Taiwan and Cam Jones, the leadership they've shown, the impact they have?
Oh, tremendous. Those 2 young men, I know I talked when we were on Zoom last press conference about the leadership we have on defense, from all of those older guys, Taiwan and Jalen Williams and Monster in the secondary and Bryant Fitzgerald, then Cam in the linebacker room and seeing, some of these other guys really stepping up, Aaron Casey stepping up his leadership, Bradley Jennings stepping up his leadership, and then we already talked about the defensive line. It really is a strength for us just having so many older veteran players that they know how to handle their business, right? When you handle your business well, it becomes very easy to become a leader for the next group. And I think that's what you see, those guys. They just handle their business very well. And then, like I said, it allows them to hold others accountable and be the leaders we need them to be. So really excited to see those guys go play Friday night.
I guess in talking about new faces on defense, it feels like a lot of the guys that weren't here a year ago, whether they're transfers or freshmen, did enroll
Guilty
early.
as charged, right?
Fair. Just how much do you think, whether it's a guy like Deshaun McCullough as a freshman or it's some of the transfers you have, benefited from getting spring ball in terms of, new faces, but maybe having a lot of time to settle in?
Yeah, those early enrollees as freshmen, I mean, it's huge for those guys to come in, to learn, to assimilate, one, to just a culture, two, to playing college athletics. It's for Desan McCullough. It's a change from playing from Bloomington South. They're a great program there at Bloomington South, but anytime you make that step up to college football, it's going to be a change and an adjustment. So now that he doesn't have to attempt to do that in August, he was doing that in January, February, March. It's so great to have those guys and for him to, again, learn. And we're a young man that we're expecting to contribute, as we are several of these freshmen. But then also those older guys, just as I mentioned, right, the J.H. Tevises and the P.J. Lucas, Ladarius Cox, those guys will be able to come in. We're thrilled to have Brylo Lanier and Lewis Moore in here, some other transfer guys. We've been able to add to our depth. And that's how we're going to play on defense. The depth is our strength. We have to be able to play multiple guys, play a lot of them, and just keep sending the swarms. That's who we are, right? Swarm D is kind of our mantra and logo, and that's who we are going to be. And how do you do that? If you want to play if you want guys running to the ball and playing fast, you got to keep them fresh. And the way that college football works today, there's the tempos, the space. We don't put them into phone booths anymore, right? We spread them out a lot. And so for guys to be able to run and play in space and play fast, we've got to be able to play a lot of guys. And we're very fortunate to have a lot of new guys that we can do that with.
Hey, Coach. How do you view the potential advantages and disadvantages of you having film on the Illinois offense heading into week one, but at the same time they have a week of experience to kind of figure some things out?
Yeah, 100% accurate, right? The biggest growth, everybody says it in football, right? The biggest time of development is week 1 to week 2. So they have that advantage. Fortunately for us, we have the advantage of some extra film that they don't have on us. So, call it a push. But we're very thankful. It's good to be able to see how are they using personnel, how are they using some of their player makers, and where are they attempting to put those guys to get them the ball. So it's nice to be able to not just be watching, Texas San Antonio. It's good to be able to see how Illinois is using their players and their personnel. Hey, listen, they're not going to go do everything they just did against Wyoming either. We're not that naive. They're going to find new and creative ways to use their guys, this week as compared to last week. But definitely thankful to have it.
From a health standpoint, are you everywhere where you want to be at all the positions right now going into this opening game for the season?
Sure. As you look at, there's always the bumps and the bruises, right? Welcome to college football. But we're excited about the guys that are going to be going out there on Friday night. Really think they've got a great mindset to them. And, the guys we want to play are going to be ready to go.
All right. Thanks, Chad.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.